Always, we have to wait for the first couple of minutes because of the freaking advertisements. By the way, I did try turning it off once, but it's like, nope, you can't turn it off anymore. I'm like, why? I just want to have people that don't want to have ad break. You have to turn it on, so you have to keep it on. And I'm like, well.
Look, ads, you wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the stream, so let us turn you off.
Exactly. God, yeah. Still slightly recovering from that heavy cold. Fuck that cold.
Sorry.
Not your fault. It was inevitable. Okay, there it is. There's the prompt. Because if I did it too early, it doesn't count. I don't know why. If when you do the ad break early, it doesn't count. There's the coughing. They're gonna be frequent. I can't do anything about that. Gotta call the cat over. Come on, you. You have food and drinks here. Go eat and drink. I just want cuddles. Come on here. Come on, it's cuddle time again.
Aww.
Your ad could be here. How much would it cost?
Only $10.99 a month.
There we go. She wants all this attention.
Baby.
And now, yeah. Okay, that's the ad break done.
Woohoo! What about second ad break?
No, and we're not having brunch either, or
That's
second
it,
lunch.
Rumble. Second dinner?
What about 11s?
Anyway, yeah, cat. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Yeah, she's gonna do the mouse match stuff again. Knock it off, cat. Come on. There you go. Good kitty. Hello everyone. Welcome to DnD with your Dungeon Master Kotlol. I'm your Dungeon Master Kotlol, and yeah, cats were the intro problem this time. Yay. And ads, but mostly cats. Yay. Today we are joined by a group of adventurers. We are joined by Poppy.
Hello.
We are joined by Lucas.
I failed my stealth check.
We are joined by Amberlyn.
Hello, everyone.
And we're joined by Sellout.
Hello.
Bottom text? Really?
Yep.
Kind of makes you a bottom. Ah! You know what I was going to say.
I'll switch it out. So, first off, the recap. You, the party, last time learned about the complexities. Something beep for me. Need to check that. Oh, that's me. You've gone live.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, streamer mode didn't turn on automatically, and I do manually. Thank you. Thank you, Discord. So, last session, you stood in front of a very tall, very pale mind flayer, and you all feared for your lives for a moment.
Not obvious.
No, you only feared for Poppy's life.
No.
Okay. Lucas's life?
no.
Okay.
What the hell?
Would we
Lucas is
remember
like,
that?
what a laugh.
Mm-hmm. After a quick analysis situation, someone tried to pull something, but it failed. Sorry, Osius. The dice were not in your favor. But luckily, they learned that this flare was not as the usual flare because it was all tied to a big conspiracy of some sort. You've learned the full story about the fallen soldier, the arm, and the flare in question, who is the Ascendant, also named Blank. So, you decided, hey, we know that you're stuck in a hard situation. We kind of want to help you, but we understand that if we just go to the Illithid stand, we'll be persecuted as being taken over by the Illithid, and you'll most likely be shot or killed or worse. So none of us want that. So eventually you used a little wish from a friend to fully change the Illithid into something less dangerous.
Aloxodon.
Aloxodon, to be exact. Brought him to the
Captain.
captain. Explain everything, does everything. After some arrangements, you were able to use the Illithid's power to lift the remaining boulders, that's the arm, back to the city. And you also now know that shit is about to go down in the Underdark. Because the Illithid are pretty much able to detect where all their traders are.
Oops.
Oops!
Yeah, oops indeed.
Now, Blank is not pissed at you for that. I mean, they had to come out of this sub-rift or sub-realm someday, and it would have happened regardless. So, they don't blame you for doing what you did. They kind of set you on the path to do it so, you know, they take responsibility for it. It was inevitable. But, you're now in the dip. Either way, you're currently on the way back.
Wait, hey, I thought we already established that Blank was a female.
She. It's a she, but I mean they deal with it. Anyway, you're all on your way still. You just went for the Force of Ever. You're now going for the Force of Ever Giving. There's not much happening there because it's nice and calm at the moment. I mean, it appears there's no scouts or anything. And yeah. After passing a bit, you naturally come across a few guards at the other side of the forest. At first, they seem to be ready to attack you, because, you know, Illithid hovering rocks, that is suspicious. But they did get orders to be a little bit not instantly attack you. So they are holding their weapons out, ready towards the strike, and then they notice it's you guys, and they're like, oh, okay, it's them. And they slowly lower their weapons just in case.
Hi.
You see the guards just looking at you. It's like they don't even respond. They're not even sure what they're looking at because they're looking at, you know, Blank, very big. They're looking like this. Ah, that is a big player. Because, you know.
Blank is pretty big.
Yeah, pretty big. So, and eventually when the guys are like, just move along. Try not to falter. Eventually, you do find yourself nearing the encampment in front of the entrance to the city. And when you arrive there, there is a squad of 6 guards ready to receive you. They all look at you, and one of them says, like, alright, you've brought the boulders, that is the arm, if I'm correct. Alright. We did not bring a large enough cart for this. So, and then he points to the cart, and yeah, it could probably hold 3 of the boulders, but not all of them. They would need to like at least need 5 more cards to do this.
Can Blank at least put the rocks down here?
I guess that doesn't matter in the long run. After all, the army is basically retrieved. We will probably get some more professionals to move it safely and get it ready for examination. Alright, fine. You may put them... See the guard look around. How about just outside the encampment here? And he points to a spot just outside the walls of the encampment. Of course, Blank will just oblige and slowly float him that way and put him down the ground. And then you can see her expression that she's no longer strained and just has a small sigh of relief. The guard then speaks up. Alright, that is the arm dealt with. There is another set of guards ready at the edge of the city to take matters further in. After all, we cannot just have a flayer walk around in the city. Despite it, that easily. Even if everyone is warned, it might cause reactions.
Yeah.
Blank has no response, but if you look at her, anyone got anything to say or to do or any questions?
Should we message Onyx Black that we've completed this quest, or does he know?
I'm pretty sure he knows, but you can let him know that you've arrived.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I actually...
You asked the guard?
Okay. Yeah.
Onyx Black will probably summon for you for that. At the moment, they have been preoccupied in the debate with the War Master. Considering there's a possible war about to... And then my whole line of thought just went Kaputski.
The war was about to start.
The war's about to erupt. War's about to erupt. The war's about to erupt. You may return to your quarters. After all, you're...
Is there anything you want us to do about the war?
I'm not the one to ask that. I'm just a simple soldier. There's a lot of...
Has Erica arrived yet?
We're supposed to pick her up, right?
Oh, your friend has... Your friend has arrived. See your companions. They are currently staying in the guest house.
Okay, thank you. You should probably catch up with Erica then.
Wait, but she was supposed to stay in the city until we got to her, right?
We are in the city, aren't we?
Well, you're not in the encampment outside the city, but basically this you would see as a city. You still have to go through a small tunnel section up to where the city is.
Okay, well
it's slightly higher level.
Yeah, okay, we're like a stone's throw away from the city.
Yeah,
basically.
Okay.
Or a boulder throw.
Oh, shut up!
Or fireball throw.
Barely. Yeah. It was a big rock. Okay. So
we should find Erica, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
So, I guess you all head into the city.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bloop. There we go. You're in the north. Don't worry, Erica's token is not here yet, but you don't have to worry about that. So you come to the higher level. You just go down the pathway, and yes, there is a large gathering of guards surrounding the entrance, and as you enter, you instantly get stopped by them. And then one of the speak-ups says, "Halt! We have express orders to take the Illithid with us." Does anyone speak up?
For what purpose? If I may be allowed to ask.
Safety concerns, and we wish to discuss what they know and about the upcoming war. Considering most of us have now started regaining memories of specific events surrounding the past, we need to confirm some things. Alone and having an Illithid this tall walk amongst the city might cause some dismay to some people. The war's claimed many before.
Makes sense.
Blank is just looking at it. It is a sad truth, but I accept your terms. There's no other way. Gar says, I at least respect that. He walks over to Blank, pulls out a stone, and they teleport out with the guards instantly. You're now by yourself. Well, there's still some guards remaining, but most of the guards teleport out with Blank.
He didn't even say bye to us.
Nope.
Not that we're not going to see them again.
The guard just says, well, we weren't sure if you had specific connections, and we wanted to get it over with fast. We apologize. You may visit them at the main building.
Alright.
Let's go see Erica first.
I agree.
I should actually put some city music on.
Probably a smart idea.
There we go.
Sure.
There we go. That's the arcane city. So you're back in the city. Your mushroom-headed Ifrit companion has vanished, taken away, spirited away, estranged, whatever you just want to say.
Yeah, we get it.
And you decide to go back to directly back to your residence. Do you go to which route are you gonna take? I do want to know that. Because you all took different routes last time, I want to know what kind of route you're taking this time.
Okay.
I honestly guess the quickest route would be to double back through the building we just came through to there and head straight south.
Sounds like a plan, yeah. So just go west and then south.
Yes.
Okay. So you can take.
You gonna be okay, man?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have small coughs sometimes. I'll be fine. My throat will survive.
Do I need to get water?
It's full. I'm prepared for this.
Okay, I'm just double checking.
Either way, you go via the western building to past the institute. You get a few looks, but nobody really stops you. To this building, and then goes south.
Wait, hold on, real quick. My mom was in the building south of here, right? Or is she in this building?
No, she's
Okay,
in the red
yeah.
one. She's in the red one. That's where the hospital is.
Yeah, okay, I had to double check, so I can't just run into her here, so, okay.
Yeah, that's also one reason I want to check the route. You see who you could run into. Yeah, pretty much it's uneventful. There's some people walking around like always. Some give some of course look at you because you're still outside. Most of you are still outside. They've never seen outsiders before, but most of them mind their way.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you all make your way back to the house. And as you enter the doorway, you see sitting in a chair holding a cup of tea your blue companion, Erica, sitting there. Going, ah.
Hi, Erica.
Finally returned, have we?
Yep.
You were on some sort of, how would you say that? An errand of some sort?
Well, Imby had an errand, so we were going along to help.
Yeah, we finished it.
And why did you go on an errand for these people? If I may be curious to ask?
Well, the leader of the city asked, so guess there's no denying that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He asked for a couple of things,
Mhm.
and everyone decided to help me. So
Roll me inside, Emberlyn. When you look at the response from Erica, she's looking at you and gazes almost into your soul, and pretty much she knows you're just hiding something. Deep down, she knows there's more to this. Why are you doing this? You don't do this out of the kindness of your heart. I have a very hard time believing that.
fair enough, but at the same time, I don't really care. So
Wishmaker's rivalry, fun.
Does Erica actually notice that we're one person short?
Not yet. And she looks it over and she's like, I believe the otherworldly visitor has left.
Yeah, she left.
Considering how convincing they are. Well, it's a shame. But if they're not of this world, it makes sense they wanted to go home.
what have you been doing in the meantime?
Well, I guess I should recount those 2 days. After you've went in those strange portals, I merely waited at the location. The fairy, she became a bit restless. I would say she got bored. Started to go around looking for things to poke at. And caused a large growth of berry shrubberies to, well, grow 4 times their size. I had to tell her to knock that off because it would keep nature, it will make nature be unbalanced. But she says that it's for the cute deer that would come over. Yes, she was causing a bit of a mess. After you've contacted me and told me where you were going and where you are, I instantly went back into town, taking the ferry with me. I informed our contacts about that I needed the ship, that the rest of my companions are already in the island via magical ways of fate. At first it took a little bit of convincing to get them to do that, but considering I explained some phenomenon that we saw, and I gave a vivid retelling of what you did, they decided to simply accept the fact that there must be on the island, that you must be on the island somehow. Thus, I instantly after that set towards the port. On the way, the ferry once again started to cause some mischief in their bored state. But it was prevented by a simple counterspell. I believe she wanted to see larger fish in the water, so she could stare at it along the way. After that, we arrived at the port. We went to meet with the captain of the ship. And before we departed, I had to assure the ferry that this will be another boring trip for them. And to not cause too much issues. She may be honored here amongst the elves, but where we are going, there's no telling how they might react. So, to simply keep their magic on the low, and if they're aboard, simply request me to play a game with them. And in hindsight, I now have regrets for that. And thus, along the way, we had to sleep on the ship until we reached the island. And after that, I set along my way to finding the entrance to the city. And that is when Little Miss Fairy caused a sort of interesting development. She wanted to cast a forbidden spell that would speed things up. And I had to remind her that we're in a veil that is supposed to stop certain things, and such a forbidden spell, even though there's no presence of Mistra, would have serious consequences. She still cast it. And, well, how would I say this? She's still around. But her magic abilities have been significantly dampened as a cost. Anything? Any questions?
So, where is she now?
Well, she's now taking a bath.
Okay.
Oh, and one more thing. If someone talks about the crater that was left in near some river fields, just tell them that if there's any questions about that, just say that it was an effect of wild magic. Trust me, the less you know, the better. The crater was an outcome, not the actual result of the casting.
Oh.
Sounds fun.
You see a very exasperated look on Erica's face. Whatever happened there, it was tiring for her to deal with. Ugh. So, what about you? What is the quick summary?
We went to get some rocks.
Specific rocks.
That's summary.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like, to get inside it, but she knows, like, no, you did exactly what you did, so I don't even have to roll. It's like, I don't know, you're right. You said exactly what. Some rocks.
We ran into a new friend on the way.
A new friend? I see. And considering you said it in such a way, there is something specific about this friend, huh?
Yeah. She's a really big elephant.
A big elephant. Naturally, there are some things in the world that can change, even the elephant. You don't know why, but you get the impression that Erica is not surprised that something like this has happened. But you can also guess, considering how long she's been traveling and has met the mother and such, that the world that considering she's lived with the archmages, these kind of weird things can just not catch her off guard that easily. Though I do not understand why an Illithid would befriend others. I do not understand their ways regardless.
Had something to do with some magic mushrooms. Apparently the Chimerians were trying to disrupt the Iflid hive mind, and they with these things, and it essentially made a mycelial connection instead, and yeah.
You see Erica taking it in. An infection within the minds of the Illithid, causing disruption to win a war against them. I see. Not similar to how counterspells would normally work. Disrupt the waves of the spell being cast by casting your own spell.
I mean, it makes sense. Keep the Iflids busy fighting, and you take out what's left.
Yeah. Innovative. And I'm not considering that these people are, well, essentially the inheritance of the archmages. I would say that their methods are not very crude, kind of ingenious. You basically create a natural predator that can't be dealt with in convenient ways to keep the Illithid away. It's just like their own version of the Veil in a way. I'll be honest, when I entered the city, I was quite shocked to see so many functional structures left of the archmages. Was feeling nostalgic for a moment, but then I remember what they did to me. But I can at least now see that, well, their creations rebelled, as expected, and as their inheritors, I would say the technology and knowledge they left behind are in the safe hands. It is hidden away from those who want to cause destruction, have their own greed, or worse. It's a functional society, even though it has remained secret. You can see her thinking and nodding. All right then. So, tell me, now that this retrieval of rocks and friendship is done, what is it you plan next?
Yeah.
We should probably get some rest first.
Yes.
What do you mean after?
I do assume that you've all had a long journey within the Underdark.
Yeah, it's not gonna get any better tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
Is there some sort of development?
Yeah. Pretty big one.
She looks at you
coming.
cute. Sorry, what did he say?
A war is coming.
A war is coming. And can I get some elaboration on this?
Well, you remember our Illithid friend?
Yes.
Yeah, so apparently because we found her through convoluted matters, now the other Illithid know that there's like Illithid that went against them, and yeah, it's a real problem.
they're aware of the infection and have already started counter-producing the infection. And when they're fully cured, they will once again strike these places. Correct?
Yep.
Erica sighs. While I don't know the full details, it is clear that you all want your next task to be to prevent this war.
Yep.
Considering how... I may have not had first-hand account with the Illithid myself, but I do know of their ways. I do know of what they do. And if they are able to go to war with these people, and would they succeed and gain the knowledge of the Archmages, that would be not only a catastrophe for this world, but any realm beyond that. If anything, it would possibly be the end of all existence as we know it. Even I can't let that happen.
We should prevent that, for sure.
Indeed. Even though these Chimerians were able to keep them off for long, their tactic of infecting them is now null and void. It is now best to prevent them from ever rising up again.
Do you know a way how?
I do not, I'm afraid. I only know what might happen if the Illithid would get their hands on Archmage knowledge.
Well, maybe Onyx Black will have some idea how to. We were told he will summon us, or me.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And even though these people may have the mother behind them, if she would have to intervene, it would severely weaken the Veil. And that could lead to other incursions from happening.
It's not gonna be pretty.
Fate never is pretty. Oh,
Well, if we have the chance to supplant the Ithalids with essentially a much more peaceful variant of their species, the Chimerians don't have the numbers to launch an assault. I wonder if there's any way we can get the numbers. There must be other denizens down here.
strike together against a common foe. Very possible, but it depends on which factions are willing to fight and even invade. The Underdark is a rough place to live in. Everything has a cost to them. Some just don't care. Others wish to gain more than they would be willing to put in. And some others simply thrive in chaos and would join the fight just for the hell of it. But there might be another way.
Which is?
You see, Erica, think for a moment. There must be a way to replenish the numbers of this army. I do not know how this society works or how they reproduce or anything. But considering I have also knowledge of the Archmages, mayhaps there might be a method hidden within the Archmages catalog somewhere that could help replenish their numbers. After all, it wouldn't be surprised that some Archmages knew how to copy themselves. As we've seen before, someone did it before. So mayhaps that might also be a solution for something in the long run for them. But if the Chimerians have already deemed that inappropriate, then so be it. Either way, yeah, Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. I was simply adding a solution to the problem. But, as I said, it depends on the society and their morals. Either way, for now, you should all rest.
That'd be a smart idea, yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing you all want to do a long rest, or you want to do, or does anyone of you do something in the city while we're here?
Getting something to eat would probably be a smart idea.
Yeah, you have the cupboard where you can put spell slots on to get food. Remember?
Yeah, I know. I'm probably just gonna get some food and just...
I guess most of you will expend some sort of spell slot for some food.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So all of you decide to just take it easy. It's been a long day adventuring for most of you. And you just sit down, start having a meal, relaxing, talking, sharing details about your split journeys. And then during your food, you can hear someone coming out of the bathroom. And then you think like, wait, they were actually in the bathroom? They're a fairy. They could just fit inside a small bowl and bathe. Why would they need a whole bathroom?
Probably to go swimming.
And then eventually you see walking down the stairs a human-sized silver fairy with the wings down, dripping down over the shoulders. It's like, oh, you're here! You finally arrived! Someone had a growth spurt.
I mean, it's big!
And there goes, and behold the consequence. And you see her go like, well, I didn't know if I could cast forbidden magic, I would be, well, less fairy? It's like, essentially she's now considered a mortal denizen of this world. Sort of
Okay.
with Fey heritage. And it's like, she still retains her memories and everything. You do not have to worry. It's simply her form is now no longer that of what you know fully.
Fair enough.
That's interesting.
It's like, and she goes like, well, this isn't as fun. I mean, sure, I'm bigger and I can grab things easier, but can't fly anymore. My feet hurt. I took a bath. Do your feet always hurt as you walk a lot?
If you're not used to it, sure.
And a lot of my magic doesn't work anymore. Like, here. You see a few sparks coming out of her fingers, so she snaps her fingers. It's like, there was supposed to be more colors and splash and flowers coming from the sky, and there's just little sparks. Oh. Like, and you see her, she says, I did warn you that casting forbidden magic within a place that heavily regulates magical flows has consequences. There's a reason why I'm in a mortal body. And he's like, well, that stinks. And he's like, just have your food. It's like, Oh, right, food. And she goes get some food for herself, and he's like, and Arca goes like, as I said, the Fae tend to not think of the consequences sometimes, and more about the fun of things.
Clearly.
No. So you also go eat. You all have your little foods and drinks and everything. And eventually you still have a few hours before you can go full, before it's actually, time to go to bed. Unless you want to wake up very early. Anything else you want to do or discuss?
Not that I can think of.
No, let's just get some rest until
Yeah.
we don't know when we'll be coming. So.
Okay. So you all decide to take it easy for the evening. Maybe study up some things, maybe think of things. And you all go to sleep and have a nice long rest. Okay. Oh, I'm grabbing some stuff.
Welcome back, spouse lots.
Mm-hmm. They were all gone.
And now they're back. Hey, why didn't they grab the other token? Damn it. When I say grab token, I say grab all the tokens, not just the one. There we go. All tokens are now loaded in fully. So, you wake up in the morning. I want you all to roll me d20.
Oh, Lord.
This is just for the order of waking up. Don't worry. It's nothing special. It's just to see who wakes up first. Nice, Aeon. Okay,
Yeah, I
so...
probably deserved it for that joke.
So, Poppy, you're the first to wake up.
Oh, okay.
And the first thing you see when you come downstairs is your silver fairy friend stacking forks together into a little fork structure. It's like, ee, ee.
What are you doing?
So he goes like, well, I didn't sleep much, so I got bored, and then I remembered I can't do much magic here because it will wake people, so I decided to do things with the forks here. Making a little fork house.
Why?
Why? Why? Why not?
People are gonna need those forks.
You can grab them when you gotta eat. I mean, you weren't using them. You're like,
Whatever. Puppy just.
it's a...
She's like, I'm surrounded by idiots.
Yeah.
There's something that her mom would sometimes say.
Yeah. Considering it's a fae that is bored, stacking fork is probably the least destructive thing they could do. So, next to wake up is Emberlyn. And, well, you still see the fork stacking going on. And there's also Poppy's about, huh?
I'm gonna help.
You're gonna help? They're like, oh, you're gonna help. Ooh, now maybe I can make it even 3 stories big this time.
Sure. Let's try it.
Oh, for God.
Okay, I'll wait with that for a bit.
Why not?
Okay. Then it's Ozzius. And of course, you see both
goody.
Amberlyn
Robbing
and.
Lucas.
Huh?
Oh, goody. We can rob Lucas.
Are you actually saying that?
No.
Okay. So you come downstairs, you see Amberlyn and your little fairy companion stacking forks into a small house. You see Poppy making some food. So. My nose is a little bit. What do you do, Ozzy? Also just make some food?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all.
You won't have forks to eat it.
Who needs forks?
He can make a sandwich. He can eat with his hands. Or if he really has to, he can make a spoon. Okay. That's all. And I'm guessing that's everyone. All right,
Yeah.
Lucas, you're waking up next.
Yay.
Again,
Yay.
you see the two ladies stacking forks into some sort of building. You see Poppy and Ozzy's eating. Anything you have to say or do?
I'm just going to shake my head good-naturedly at the fork instruction. I'm going to order something that I can eat with a spoon.
Okay. Get some food. I'll get some food and that. Water.
You okay?
Yes, I'm fine. It's just something gets stuck in my throat.
Ooh.
So I was talking, something fell into my throat. Like, ugh. Nasty. I'm fine. Okay, and then last to arrive is Erica, who comes down slowly. And, also noticing the fork stacking and just looks at you, Amberlyn, with some confusion.
Well, Eloda's still in here too.
Uh-huh. And then look at the rest of the group and also starts silently getting some food. So yeah. I'm guessing you all just have food at one point or another.
Yeah.
Cool. So, you've all get your food, you all get your drinks, and yeah, you're all morning ready. So what do you do?
Yay. It's a good one. Do we wait for Unexpected to reach out, or?
You actually say that's his Poppy, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone respond?
I'm being ignored.
He's just eating. So, yeah. Oh. There. The nose was
I presume
fully
we-
clogged. Go ahead.
I presume we pretty much just wait until they come for us.
I mean, we can, our experience, we can also simply check with them. We could wait, but there's always time to do or learn things.
True.
Uh-huh.
we could already try to figure out more about the Tomb of the Grey One.
Uh-huh. The gray
I
one?
guess so.
Sorry, what? The gray one?
Yeah.
Did you say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. What about it?
Who's the gray one? Like, what do you mean with the gray one?
Oh, we're supposed for the second quest. We're supposed to go to the Tomb of the Grey One,
Ah,
and
right, the
we're going
tomb, yeah.
to the western side. So
Mhm,
that one.
mhm. You would. Okay, so I guess you could do that in the meantime.
Mhm.
So, okay, so I need you to decide. Like, are you gonna do some research about the gray one? Are you gonna look around for some place? Are you gonna look out for some information? Are you gonna gather maybe some war records for the oncoming war? Like, there are a lot of things you can do right now. You have the time to learn and prepare for what's ahead.
I'm gonna search for information.
So you're gonna look for information about the grey one. Okay.
Well, I already have some information, but maybe I'll figure out more.
Uh-huh. Anyone else want to do something? Ozius, Lucas, Poppy.
I mean, if you want to go picking around for knowledge and information, I'd be happy to help you.
That's nice of you.
Poppy, Ozius.
I'm not seeking any knowledge.
You wanna see
Sure, I'll go along.
Fine, I'll join you all.
You get these and little silver bell looks up like, oh, she doesn't little anymore. She's like, oh, we're going somewhere. Can I come along? And you see Erica. Erica. I guess if we are moving, we're all moving, aren't we?
Yeah.
Looks like it.
All right. Let us go. So, the whole group is gonna look for information. Ah, I know what those are.
Excellent.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, you all decide to go there. So, do you have any idea where to go?
No.
Well, it was your idea.
Womp, womp, womp,
Well,
womp.
actually, there was we did hear about an academy or something, right?
Yeah, the academy.
Maybe that will be a place to start. Maybe they have
Yeah.
some kind of library.
The academy is the. Let me grab the name. Yeah, the Institute of Magical Development.
Oh yeah.
So that's that one over there. That's near the entrance. So you want to go over there to see if you can find a library and get some knowledge. You do know that one at least.
Yeah. I guess so.
Okay. So, you all decide to head down the place. Which path are you taking first? Are you going for taking the northwestern route or the southern route?
The
Which
same
one
route
would
we
be
took
the shorter route?
yesterday.
Okay, that's the northwestern route.
Okay, we're going that way, I guess.
So you all walk down the street. This group of 6 people, and you head into the building, and of course, all of you. Erica naturally understands how these elevators work. She's lived in these buildings before. It's when little Miss Silverbell goes like, "Oh, these things again." Puts her feet out, goes it back. Pulls her feet out, puts it back. Puts her feet out, and then you can see Erica going, "Just get on the thing."
What if it kills us?
Can it kill us?
Lucas,
Pretty
you
sure.
go first.
Oh,
Lucas, you go first. Lucas?
No.
You see her going, it is a simple contraption to go to a higher level.
We know how the elevators work.
If it's not magic, I don't trust it.
It is completely magical in its construction.
Oh, okay. Steps on it.
Been on these elevators before, like, ugh.
Well, someone was talking about risks and, you know.
I can see why the Fae like him. Erica goes up, then eventually the Silverbow goes after, and then you all go after, and then you cross the bridge and you head to the Institute of Magical Development. So, you've walked through this building before, but only through the main routes. You haven't fully explored it or looked for any desks. Which level do you want to start? Because she's basically on the first floor right now.
well, is there some kind of reception desk or?
You can look around. Perception?
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Six. You start looking around for any hints or direction, and you notice that, well, this place is differently marked than the other buildings, so you have no clue how this works.
Okay. I'll just walk around until I find someone.
And I guess everyone follows. There's several people walking around. Do you approach one of them?
I approach the one I think is the smartest.
Hello.
Wow. No, not you for sure.
Oh.
Presumptions much. Okay, but so you want to look for someone who you think is the smartest. Okay, quick investigation, please. This. I don't know if you get a student, a professor, or a janitor.
Suppose either would know the way to a library, but of course.
Yeah.
A janitor would know his shit.
I see the pun. I see what you did there. Anyway, you approach someone who appears to be, who you believe is someone who knows the way and works here, or studies here, for all you know. The young man looks up as like, how can I? Oh, fire! Oh, I mean, sorry. I thought you were on fire for a moment.
Well, I am.
I mean, set on fire. Burning is in pain and you needed assistance.
Well, that I don't.
Good. Right, outsiders. There are creatures that are on fire and such. And sorry, I need to recompose myself. You see, some people do catch fire here when their experiments blow up in their own faces. So, my first reaction when seeing someone's hair on fire is to shout fire and about to put it out.
Makes sense.
You're building stuff that creates fires? That's fine.
Yes, we do all kinds of magical development here. Some include fire elementals. And other elements as well. And magical explosions can often occur when people do not do things safely or try to change what is already established to work. Like, we want to cook something, you want to cook it for something for 5 minutes, and someone would decide, you know what, I want to cook it in 2 minutes, so I make the fire bigger. And before you know it, they burn down their house.
That sounds smart.
Yeah.
So
You can.
instead of 2 minutes on 200 degrees, you would put 1 minute on 400? Wow.
Anyway, how can I help you?
Well, we're not completely sure if we should be here or anywhere else, but we're looking for information, but not about anything magical. Looking for a location of
Oh,
something in the Underdark.
in a location within the Underdark. Well, you could be in the right place or the wrong place depending what the location is. After all, there are several. We have several information about magical locations within the Underdark that we have discovered or have been discovered in the past, or even history or knowledge about magical places. After all, technically, this is a magical place in the Underdark. This whole city is. So,
Fair enough. We're looking for a location of the Tomb of the Grey One, and we do know already that the Grey are the dwarfs southwest of the Underdark, southwest section. But
the
we don't know more than that.
the Drugar, yes, the dwarves to the south, the Underdark. So the Tomb of the Grey One is clearly one of them. Why? Let me. I need to recall something real quick. Yes. The Drugar of the southwest of here are known to consider to call themselves the Grey. It is their tribe. So I'm supposed the tomb that they would have is indeed one of the Grey One. So why the Grey One? Would that incline the one who set up the tribe of some sort? Do you remember something? Yes, it is indeed a tomb that is magical and is supposed to test the ingenuity of their people. The tomb is not only an actual archaeological site, it is also a test for leaders. It's kind of fascinating that they've employed all kinds of magical properties.
It is a magical place.
Indeed. Though
And
we as the Chimerians have no idea what kind of magics are employed, we simply know it's magical because we had to once. Well, they simply, I believe the histories told me that to keep the peace between the Drugar and the Chimerians safe, they demanded that we handed over specific ruins so they could repair their tomb. This is the only reason we know about this.
do you know where the tomb is situated, or who we should talk to?
Well,
Think of that?
well, the Drugar are what you would consider someone who's very private individuals, especially the Grey. I would not know the exact location or if it's written down somewhere. That we would need a specialist who deals with that. I'm not one of those.
Or who
Would you
is?
know where we could find one?
A specialist of the Drugar. Within these walls, I'm not sure. After all, that sounds more like having to deal with relations within the Underdark. But perhaps there might be a history book or two somewhere about the Drugar within these walls. After all, even though we gather all kinds of magical knowledge, we also have history books. So,
Well, then would you mind pointing us to a library or wherever you keep your books stored?
We have several libraries in this building. A few of them are. We have some records. We have magical studies, but I believe for what you it's mostly history related. So, the general library here would suffice to find your information. Let me think. It should be on the bottom floor. But yes, it's on the bottom floor. Past the 2 large silver doors.
Okay.
Oh, for 2 large silver doors. All right, that seems clear enough.
Yep.
Oh,
Wish you luck, outsiders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you head back down the elevators, which again the little fairy is trying to trick it out by putting a foot out and pulling it back. Putting it up, it's like, no, enough of that. No, enough of that. You're going now.
Come on.
You go back to the ground floor. You easily spot the 2 large silver doors on the ground level. You've walked past it before. And, well, one is open to a degree that you could just push it open further and just go inside. I guess you naturally push it open. There's no sense of threat or anything, or you don't want someone else specifically to open it.
Safe.
Sure. I don't think we expect any threat, so.
Okay, you enter the library, and the first thing you notice when you enter is the fact that you are on you're on a level. You see several bookshelves on the sides. You see a desk to your right, front desk. But you also notice that the center area, there is a spiral staircase going down. The library, in this case, goes downwards.
Okay, interesting.
So, behind the desk is a young Camarian woman with 2 pigtails out, horns sticking out, everything. And she's just sitting there, writing on a little piece of paper. What do you do?
Oh, we walk up to her.
She's noticing you. She's just concentrating on writing.
Excuse me.
Looks up. Let's go with the piece of paper and let's go to the pen. But when the moment she pays, she continues writing. And she looks up at you. She's like, "Oh, hello." How can I help you?
First of all, I'm not a failed experiment, just to get that out of the way. We are looking for some information on the Drugar.
The Drugar. Yeah, the dwarfs. Yes. Whatever they say outsiders. The Drugar. Let me think. You see her looking around like this, huh? Right. Pulls up a little stone, puts it against the wall next to her, and a compartment opens, and then you can see a little scroll sticking out of it. She pulls one out. No. This one. Alright. He has some subject matters about them. Anything specific? By the way, the scrolls are neat, a little bit tiny. Like,
I guess the clan that calls himself the Grey.
naturally, the Grey. Several history books about the Grey, like at least 6 of them. Anything specific?
Anything about a tomb by any chance?
That might have to do with cultures. That's still 3 books. I guess that's the most I can narrow it down.
We can divide them, I guess.
They're on the bottom level on the bookshelf D2.
I'm level D2. All right. Well,
They're
thank you.
they're right next to each other. If you find one book of the Drugar, you find all of them.
Well, that's handy.
All right. Is there anything else you need to search for?
I don't, but maybe someone else wants to look for something.
Not at this moment.
Erica just shrugs.
Fine,
So-
thank you.
Of course, your fair companion goes, ah. I'm checking if anyone wants to stop her from saying anything.
I'm curious what she's
Well, we
gonna
don't know
say.
what she's gonna say, so
Okay. Right. What is the best book for cooking delicious raspberry cakes? You see, and yes, you see the librarian looking curiously at her. You've come here for a cookbook. It's like, well, I'm in the mood for a good raspberry cake, and there's no raspberries growing here, so I guess a cookbook could help me find one. You can see Erica going like, you know, she is going. And you see Erica going like, no, even if they have that, they won't have pictures of it. It's like, and you see going like, aww. And the librarian's like, you can conjure up raspberry cakes if you have the devices for it. So even asking for a cookbook is kind of a strange request. Not unreasonable, just strange. It's like, but I want to cook it too. Well, do you have it? He's like, the librarian goes like, I think I do. Cookbooks. Supposedly is the first one on the left. First one on the left, got it. And she walks off to go check the cookbooks. I even haven't. She's already gone, isn't she? Alright, there you go. Erica goes like, she's fey-blooded. Once they set their mind to something, they're gonna stick to it. Alright then, shall we head to the lower levels? Erica speaks up.
Yes, let's go.
So all heading down?
may as well.
Nobody else has anything to say? No?
Not at this time.
Okay. Alright.
I
So
do keep an eye on the shelves as I pass to see if maybe there's something interesting.
Perception check.
Perception. Where the hell? Okay. Pretty good roll.
16. Okay, 16. You look around for the different shelves as you descend into the depths of the library. Ooh. Don't worry, it's well lit with enough lanterns and such, so it's not even that scary. It's quite cozy. The lanterns and the glowing runes in the walls does help keep it well lit. You look around, and anything specific you're looking out for?
Just anything that looks interesting, like a history book or something about maybe about the chimeras themselves.
So, you eventually got to the history part, to the shelf. And as you look around, Poppy, you do see several well, several books about the Camarians and their history. Past leaders, what they did, accomplishments, the war against the Archmagi, and even their creations, history of their creations and such.
Hmm.
I grab the book and start leafing through it as I walk.
Which book?
About the creation.
Okay, we'll come back to that later.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, Emmeline, you look around for the books, and you find them in no time. You do find the books about the Drugar. There are 3 books of the Drugar. The first one is a recorded history of events within the first 500 years of observing the Drugar. The second book is about the history of the culture within the Grey. And the third book is about recorded leaders of the Grey. So, what do you do?
Wait, did anyone come with me right now?
Everyone is with you. Erica's there, Lucas is there, Ozzy's is there, Poppy's sort of there, and the fairy, that's the only one who's not there right now. Silverbell is doing some other stuff. She's looking for a recipe.
Okay. I'm gonna ask. So, does anyone want to read through the 3 books or the other books?
You're asking if someone else wants to grab one of the other books.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzyus, are you offering? Lucas, are you offering?
I'll take one of the books and look for it, sure.
Okay.
I gave him the first book.
Okay, you give him the first book, which is the court history of Drudigar. Ozzyus, are you helping? The faster you get through, it, the faster she will throw a fireball.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I give him the second book,
Which is the
within the Grey culture.
the Cult of the Grey, and you take the leaders. Alrighty then. Lucas, could you roll me investigation, please, to see what you can? Yeah.
Investigation.
Of course, Lucas.
You know why.
Yeah.
Investigation.
Ooh, plus 13. You decide, you look through the book and you decide to read it. This book will take a while to get through. Like, it's a thick book of at least 500 pages. But from the first page, you can already tell that this is a book where clearly the person who... Clearly, it's all kinds of recorded interactions with the Drugar and the Camarians. So when they first met, after the Archmages fell, several interactions, you even can pick out that they had a war at one point.
Mm-mm.
So they didn't start on good terms.
Okay, I want to pull a piece of parchment and a quill out of my bag. I just want to go through it and sort of like, as I'm reading through this, make a note of all the times that the two either had like a peace treaty or a conflict, and essentially try and figure out like what the Duragar might be interested in if we approach them with the possibility of an alliance, and what might what they'd very much be put off by.
Okay, roll me a religion check real quick.
Religion.
This has to do with the understanding of the Drugar and their culture and even gods and such.
Oh boy. 9.
9. You try to think about how the culture and how it's like they also have gods, right? But you just can't fully make it out. You do know that the Drugar are basically dwarves that are super greedy, super petty, super stubborn. They're basically excuse me, got a coughing fit.
Excused.
So they're basically if you think about a stereotypical evil dwarf, but worse. That's what they are. But they are reasonable to a degree. Like, if you just tell them, hey, if you're gonna fight with us, it's gonna cost you a lot, you can probably flip them around. That's what you remember. That's the only thing you remember. But otherwise, it's kind of up in the air. You do look for any time to have a conflict or not. The first conflict is because the Drugar basically try to claim anything Archers based for themselves, saying like, we found it, it's ours, fuck off. And the Drugar is just like, you don't know what you're doing. You're about to start a calamity on accident. We're just taking this for your own things, and we'll give you the good stuff that you want, like the gold and such. And of course, the Drugar is like, no, we don't trust you. This is our shit now. And that's why the first time ended the war. And the war ended basically because of an inner conflict within the Drugar. Basically, the leaders were fighting amongst themselves for once. Because, as you read, it's like, why are the leaders fighting amongst themselves? But that wasn't recorded. They just know the leaders were fighting amongst themselves. The second conflict that the Carriers had with them, was the fact that they were digging a path towards the sealed city, which they didn't want. They found out about it, and they said like, "Hey, they're encroaching on us." And the Grugars are like, "Look, we're deep inside some tunnels. We're just going past it." And it's just like, "We don't want you to go past it. It's dangerous." It's like, "Well, there's good ores in the vault, and that's our stuff, remember?" And it's like, "Yeah, but if you get too close, those ores could be affected." And then you could start following. So it's like, "It's our ores! Fuck off!" And it was a little bit of a war, but that was disputed quickly when the Chimera said, like, "Look, we know a place where you can dig even where we found a gold ore vine in the other direction. Could you go that way?" And it says like, "Oh, there's gold that way? Yes. You know, the best ore?" It's like, "Okay, we'll go that way." Otherwise, there were no other conflicts. Everything else is just literally the setting up of the Grey, because that they're a little bit more peaceful than normal Drugar, and that they seceded from the main Drugar line, as in they became their own tribe. They just didn't want to deal with them anymore, and that there are more Drugar tribes in the Underdark. But all of them are too far away, or they don't bother because the Greys already has dips in this area.
So, the basic takeaway is they're greedy, territorial, and opportunistic.
Yep.
Cool.
And they're also petty, but
Yeah.
This is why this. So yeah. Go ahead, Emerlyn. Your second book. Second book. Osius, you're up. Sorry.
Well. 60. Ooh. That's better than I expected.
Osius. At first, you started reading through the books like, yeah, that's dwarf behavior. That makes sense. They set up a thing because one wanted to have more money than the other, and then you start being like, wait. This is actually pretty interesting. You learn about that the Grey, even though they're Drugar, they decided to separate from most of the other Drugar tribes because they could create good deals with the Chimerians. And figured that working with the Chimerians to a degree is more profitable than working with other Drugar, because other Drugar will keep trying to hoard or put things on. It's just like, you need to pay our stuff. But if you work with the Chimerians won't tax you. They just tell you can't go there. And you learn that the Grey are indeed kind of having a symbiotic relation with the Camarians.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yes, Ferengi. They're basically Ferengi, yeah. They're basically working with them, where the Camarians will help keep the other Drugar away with them. In turn, they get to dig around wherever they want in the areas that are designed for the Camarians. And if the Camarians are having trouble, they would, at the very least, try to settle the war out, any wars or problems out, so that their bottom line isn't going to get hurt. So for Drugar standards, they're more reasonable. But they're still petty little greedy assholes, because there's still enough moments to say like, oh yeah, they had a little bit of a spat, and they said like, oh, well, we found some ores that you could use, but we want to sell it for more. It's like, we're not gonna buy them for that. We don't even have that much gold to begin with. We use magic as a currency. It's like, yes, but we want gold. And it's like, well, we can give you gold, but that much is a kind of loss. Like, it was a fair deal. And they just had little spats when this sort of deals started going rough, but nevertheless, they always reconcile and keep to their end of the bargain in the end. You can serve around that the Grey do love to haggle. And Emberlyn, your turn. Investigation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good roll so far. This study session is going amazingly.
Woohoo!
Evelyn, you look through for the leaves of the Grey, and, well, you see the first leader, you think, like, that's probably what the tomb is about, but let's check the other ones first. And you start going through it, and you see that the second leader, third leader, is become... So the first leader was a tribe leader, the second leader became, the fourth leader, and then the third leader became the king, and after that it's been king. It's like, it's all just, it became a monarchy. And as you read through it, as you read through all these kings, they do sort of honor the first leader, because the first leader had strong magical capabilities, and he basically said, look, if you want to deal with these Camarians, you need to have some sort of magical knowledge, because if you don't have any magical knowledge, they will put cheap tricks on you and will mess with your head. And that's why the tomb of the Grey One was made. So you don't fall for any magical tricks so that you lose out on a good profit. And, well, it doesn't say what the location is, but you do know that the first leader did set up so that his people could dig more and won't be tricked by magic, and that eventually became this tomb. We were set up by the third leader, by the way. The second leader didn't care. In fact,
does it say anything about who goes into the tomb?
It doesn't say much about who goes into the tomb. It just says that every king that is described in those books has gone into the tomb at one point or another to prove themselves as the true king. Essentially, only... But you do also read that one of the kings also opened the tomb for other people to come in, but for a price.
Oh.
And it even says in a little note, be careful if you do visit and pay for this. They literally make you sign a contract that they said they are not liable for any deaths.
And it probably doesn't say what they value, like what a price could be for them, right?
Oh no, For all you know, you don't know if it's going to be a gold prize, a platinum prize, or something they really want. I guess it just depends on the current king. So you fear you might have to start doing some dealings with some super stubborn, greedy dwarfs.
Well, if they work with the Camarians, then probably Onyx Black knows who the current king is and what he values, so I'm gonna ask him at some point.
Okay.
And I am actually also wondering if we can ask them for help if the Illifids come. They would help the Camarians, right?
Okay, before we start that discussion, Poppy, your turn. Investigation check.
Investigation. Blah, 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 blah. Boop. Oh, wow.
You start reading the book, and you start leafing through it, and start looking for the origins. And Lucas, you hear?
Yes.
You see when Poppy reading the book, you hear a familiar voice from your little fate friend. Fate can no longer be denied. That's all you hear. Fate can no longer be denied. You're like,
Actually, you know what? Lucas just closes his eyes and mutters, "Shit."
All that trouble for nothing.
I mean,
I want my name back.
you had to see this coming. That Poppy would find out sooner or later. That's literally what he said. Like,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So, Poppy, you learn about the Archmage's experiments. You learn how they started employing things with familiars to cast magic like they do, which is similar to
Carbuncle.
Bless you.
But then you started seeing more developments. How they started trying to put familiars into bodies with people that had almost no magic potency to make them kind of like a familiar, so they could match the magical levels of the people. And then started developing more. And then they started developing homunculi with traits of familiars. But this was unsuccessful because the magic became too potent, which started to destabilize the person in horrific ways. Which is not very described, it just says as horrific ways. And then they decided there needs to be binding elements, more binding elements. And that's when they started adding the horns to things, because the horns were a magical conduit, which helps to stabilize magic, but the magic could still build up too much and cause terrifying results of explosive nature. That is the exact wording. Yeah, but this is the Chimerian's wordings. This is probably the nicest way you're going to hear it.
Yeah.
And eventually you read the part that they started embedding runestones into these creatures to make them the Chimerians as you sort of know them. And then they started eventually, when they were stable enough, they started mass producing these to increase magical potency within the Society of Archmages, and, you know... Sorry, the coughs are really strong today. And also how to improve, and also they have servants and people that can go on the magical level, but cannot, rise up that easily against the Archmages. And yet somehow they did, eventually. But yeah, they pretty much experimented for a while, and it goes from familiar too familiar with objects to give magic potency, putting a familiar inside a person, making a person into a familiar, then fusing it even more together, then using a horse and conduit, then the rune stones.
Look over at the carbuncle.
Well, I guess I figured it out much sooner than I thought.
I just shrug it off.
Yeah. You just learn that your species basically are familiars.
Hmm.
Which kind of explain why there's a familiar shop in this place and why it's so nice.
Yeah, basically.
That's the origin story.
Okay then.
Shrugs and looks through if there's anything else more interesting in there.
What are you looking for? You have a 23, you could still get specific information out.
That's a good one. Specific information. Like, not longevity because we already know that they're gonna live longer. Like maybe, I think I know. At which point did the Chimerians figure out that they were better than and they just started to distance themselves from the
Archmages.
The Archmages, yeah. If that's in there.
You do read about the rebellion and how it started. It's mostly because, how strangely enough, it's because of the demons that took refuge on the continent itself that was created by the Archmages. They started whispering temptations and ways to break free from the binds of their creators. And then eventually sparked a rebellion. And
Okay.
then it was followed by the rebellion basically started ending by the birth of the mother. So yes, of all things, the demons are the reason that the rebellion sparked out. But you also read that all these demons are lesser demons, mostly of imp level. So these were very weak demons that couldn't even stand to resist against the Archmages. But demons have to demon.
Of course they do.
So yeah, that's the information. Anything? That's all. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, not much I can do about that one.
You push the book back.
So, anything else?
No, I just put the book back and I hurry after everyone else.
Erica looks over at you all done reading. So, what have you inquired?
Well, I guess I did a lot more things like the Archmages than I thought I did.
And a shrug.
As I lived among them, they have indeed did more than we've ever could imagine. Even I only have surface knowledge about several things. But to know all that they did is even beyond me.
Mm-hmm.
The other three, you got anything to say? Lucas, Amberlyn, Ozius?
No, I'm just sat with a book trying to figure something out that I can't quite grasp.
Is there any problems? Erica speaks up. Is there any problems?
Well, we need to talk to Onyx Black, I think. Also to figure out whether the Grey would help the Chimerians in the upcoming war.
Bobby, do you think I could make a Chimerian my familiar?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I do not think you wish to go down that path of thinking, Turtle. Yeah. So, yeah. So, oh, there's another cough coming. There's the scratchy of my throat. So, y'all finish your research. I guess you don't got anything else to ask or, well, look for?
Not at this moment.
No.
Okay. So, Erica goes, so you've learned about the Dragar and several other things. What else could we inquire here? After all, if we wish to join the war against the Illithid, should we gather more knowledge about them? Or perhaps about the Underdark itself?
Might be
Probably a
an
smart
idea.
idea.
Maybe we should inquire about that method to duplicate that the Chimerians had.
The
It
methods.
seems magical, but it might not be the right library here. Dude did mention this was more of a historical library.
Perhaps. What do you wish to replicate exactly?
We learn about a method for the Chimerians to duplicate, to clone themselves.
Right, the duplication. They might have a way. If they do have developed that way, that would be indeed somewhere here in the city. Because you could.
Ask the woman if this is the right library for it, or because there are 3 libraries in this building.
Apparently so. From what we've learned about this place from the young fellow, this is the general one, and there are 2 others. One is for records, and the other one is for specifically spells and research.
I look at Erika and ask, do you know anything about that method? I mean, it was a method from the Archmages.
There are many types of spells that can do this. Some have ways of simply avoiding death, such as a literal clone, and then storing the clone somewhere until you perish and then be reborn into that clone. There is, of course, another spell which is the Simulacrum, which is basically a illusionary second version of yourself. It has the same kind of capabilities, but not as such. Then we have, well, what a Turtle Friend can do. That is also a way of duplication. And, what else is there left? Well, we have seen that person up in the mountain, the one you called Bob, who has a clear way of replicating himself and having the knowledge between the replications being spread. But they're all organic in a way. I honestly doubt that he would share that knowledge with us. But there might be another spell for all we know. There's been many wizards, many wizards who've tried to learn these kind of spells to increase their own numbers without literally bringing more numbers. After all, if you can just if you can triple your army out of nothing, just the side of it, just that little side of it, sometimes is enough to stave off a war.
So should we look for more information on it?
It was simply a suggestion, but if such a spell exists, it might assist in the oncoming course. It's never a problem to inquire.
Alright, might as well.
Yeah. Alright. You gonna all go back to the upper floor?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, you all go back up the spiral staircase, several floors up, to... Well, it is technically ground floor, so it's technically the ground floor. It's the top floor and the ground floor.
Basically, we go from the bottom floor of the basement to the ground floor.
Yeah. And there's no sign of your fairy friend. They might still be in the aisle. She might still be in the aisle. Do you go check where she is in the on this floor?
Better do so before she
We
gets in
we
trouble.
should. Again.
Okay, quick perception check.
Perception check. Perception.
Poppy, you look around and I don't see her. Sorry, that's too low. That doesn't pass the check. Emily, you look around for a bit and do eventually see her. Ozzy, you look around and it's like, oh, right, Silver. Light reflects that way. She's over there. She's still Silver, technically.
I know about Silver. It's there.
Yeah. So yeah.
And on my back.
Yeah. So yeah, you do find her easily. And she's indeed she's in a different aisle looking for books. It's like, that doesn't look good. Words. But you read it, she's just looking for an encyclopedia of trees. Words. Why are you looking for the encyclopedia for trees you don't know yet? Well, what do you do?
Well,
She's
she's not in any kind of trouble.
She's not. She's just.
I just let her read. Why not?
You're just gonna wait till she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. After 5 minutes of her going words, she's consistent in that. Strangely enough, she comes to the final page and closes it. It's like, what's the book? What's the encyclopedia away? And she's pouting. Like,
What?
Huh?
What's up?
I was looking for maybe pictures of trees. No questions about that?
Why trees?
Because I wanted to make a nice big tree appear that's beautiful and may even attract squirrels.
I don't think there are any squirrels here.
Well, if there's a tree, squirrels find a way. I was always told that. And you could Eric could go like, oh boy, here we go again. Well, what do? You got anything to say?
Words, words, words.
You're having fun with that. So no, she's just upset. It's like, well, I guess there were trees at that park place. Maybe there's squirrels there. I wanted to have a nice tree for the squirrels. Maybe a nice big oak tree. Or, no, an acorn tree. They would like that.
That's called an oak tree.
That is... An oak tree is an acorn tree. Yes, yes. Unless it's a magical acorn tree, that's no longer an oak tree, that's a magical acorn tree.
It's still an oak tree.
Magical oak tree, got it.
I think... This is like, little one, I think at this point she's pulling a trick with you. And you see her sticker. Yeah, from past inside, you see her covering up her hand with a sticker. She is just messing with you at that point. She's not that stupid.
Yeah.
Either way, Erica says like, either way, we are done here. We're going to the other library to look for a specific spell.
Fireball for turtles?
Sure, Erica goes. And of course, Emma goes like, well, since the magic still does the little sparky things, psst, 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 I guess we could do that. Maybe that's a little small. Maybe that's a fun spell I can use now. You see Erica go like, knock yourself out. So, I guess you all try to look for this library. First, I guess you go to the desk first to ask about it, right?
Yeah.
So you go back to the front desk and you see the lady doing the writing thing again. Of course, you make a note. She says, let's go. It keeps writing. Like, oh, yes? How can I help you now? Someone needs to ask.
Oh, we're still looking for some other information.
And what information is that?
Well, it would be something magical. We know that the archmages had some way to duplicate themselves, and we're trying to find out more about it.
When you mention the archmage, you do see her brow furrow a bit. It's like, oh, duplication magic of some sort. Yeah, I guess that we don't have that here. That has to be in the other one, in the other library. So, I guess, I wouldn't know where it is, but you could probably ask them there, yes. Should be on the 5th floor.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So you all head out. Once again, you go up you go up to the 5th floor, and in this case, you see way more people walking around. But it's kind of obvious by context clues alone of all the people walking in and out of one set of doors that has to be the library, because you see people going in, and you see people leaving with books, And it's kind of frequent. Like every 15 seconds, there's someone coming out with some books, or someone going in without books, or some going in with books.
So we just ask them on?
You can go in, I guess. You go into the set of doors?
Sure.
Okay. You walk through the set of... God damn it. The cough's coming up. Nope. The bar doesn't stop it. There. Oh, my nose. Okay. You walk through two large sets of red doors. And as you enter, you see, first in front of you, several desks with people sitting behind them reading through books. This library is way more busy than the last one. You do see a front desk with three people behind it. Two of the desk workers are already in conversations with others. A moment. There we go. And the other one is just writing some things down. The library itself is going up in floors. It's 3 floors high, and there's several. However, there's no staircase. There's only the middle section. Well, how would I explain this? You know it's 3 floors high, but you don't see the floors. You see all kinds of... How would I say this? People standing on thin air, and if you look at their feet, you see little glowing areas around it, like the floor is being materialized under them. In the middle, you see a main section with 4 pillars glowing, and you see people going up and down it via an invisible force. As there's also floating bookcases everywhere. Does that make sense? It's way different from the last one, that's for sure.
Neat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Erica looks like, this is indeed what I remember more of how libraries looked up during the Archmage eras.
Did the Archmages have any secrets in their libraries?
No, they always believed knowledge should flow freely as possible.
Always something good thing about them.
If they kept something secret, it means even they believed it's too dangerous to be let out. So this open library structure is their way of saying, like, come in, friend. Every knowledge is in your eyesight, and you can just reach for it if you want to.
Okay, cool.
Is there a desk or reception somewhere?
Yeah, it's to your left.
Oh, yeah. I guess that's a good starting point.
I said 2 of the reception workers are already busy talking to someone. There's only a third one.
Oh,
There's only the
well,
third
I
one.
guess the third one it is.
So you approach this person. It's someone in full robes wearing a mask. It is a Chimerian, but you can just somehow tell, even though they don't show their horns or anything. And they notice you coming, and they put the pen down and look at you. They're not saying anything. They're just
Hello.
looking at you. They
We
just
are
nod.
looking for books on duplication spells, duplicating people or creatures to be exact.
Tilts his head for a moment. The Chimerian tilts his head for a moment. And then speaks. Yes, I see. They walk away for a moment, grab a scroll, then come back, roll it open, then put their finger on the point, and when you look at it, they're just pointing at a section. And that's called the Art of Duplicating. It's literally called the Art of Duplicating. That's the book's
The
name.
whole section.
No, it's
Oh,
just
the
it's
book.
the book. And it says in which section you can find it. It's on the second floor in bookcase C5.
Alrighty then. Thank you, I guess. Really good hospitality.
Yeah. Rolls the scroll back up and puts it away and decidedly nods to you. Not a person of many words.
Yeah, apparently. Okay, let's head up to the pillar, I guess,
Yeah.
which seems to take people up.
Yeah. As soon as you enter the zone of the pillars, you feel lighter than air.
What?
Fairy can feel like she's flying again.
Yeah, the fairy size is like, ooh, I can feel like I can fly again. And you may roll an Arcana check.
We all have to roll Arcana check?
If you
or-
want to know what's going on, you may roll an Arcana.
Okay, may as well. Where's
Oh,
that
no.
Arcana?
What's those noise?
Okay, I've got no idea.
Yeah. From lowest to highest. Osseous? You feel light, like you can fly, like it's flight. Okay, neat. Whatever. Poppy? For some reason, you try to think of how this works, but you just can't. You can't put your finger on it. It's like, okay, I can fly here now. And Berlin, you try to think about what kind of spells could be effective. You do know it's a flight spell for sure, but it's a slower version of it. So you're not gonna fly at top speed here. You're just gonna fly like you walk.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, Lucas. Maybe. As for Lucas, when you try to make sense of it, these pillars that are surrounding it are constantly casting some sort of form of flight, but not just flight, a zone of flight. So for some reason, these pillars are constantly refreshing a zone of flight spell. Which is kind of weird because you know how Zone of Truth works and kind of things, but this is like literally 3 stories up a section where it's just a zone of flight. Does it? So, you all know you can fly now. So I guess you can fly up to the 2nd floor.
Mm-hmm.
Whee!
Oh, I'm used to it.
Of course, the fairy is already doing backflips into the air, going up. Whee! Oh, shit's a bit. Oink! And comes to the 2nd floor. Erica just floats up casually and lands on the 2nd floor. So you find yourself on the 2nd floor, and the floor is see-through. So if you look down, you do see those lower floors, but you do feel like there's ground under your feet. And you can see Silverbell looking at the flights like, I want to live there. He's just mesmerized by the flight. Like, it's like she can fly again. Anyway, do you head your way to the bookcase?
Mm-hmm.
May as well.
5.
Yeah, you walk on this sort of transparent or forming floor under your feet. That feels like floor. You feel stable. You have no fear of falling, except when you look down, you see everything below you, which is kind of awkward. It's not something you're used to. Or at least, most of you aren't. Erica's used to it, apparently. So you do find the bookcase and the book. And there's several copies of it. There's at least 5 copies of it. Funny. There's copies of a book about duplication.
Mm.
So I guess you're taking one?
Well, I am taking one of them, yes.
Okay. Anyone else want to take it and read it? Take a copy and read it over?
Sure.
You know, Lucas will take one on principle and just drop it into the bag of holding.
Oh,
Rogue's
It's
got a
free.
rogue.
It's free.
they won't miss a copyright. They have 5 of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
so
you have a point about roguing. Maybe I should take a spare one.
okay, so you all take it. So Poppy takes a copy. Everybody takes a copy. Lucas Lakes literally takes a copy. Ozzius, what about you?
I'll take a copy.
To read, okay. So which of you are actually reading except Lucas? Because Lucas isn't reading.
I'm reading.
Okay.
Oh no, I'll pick up another one and read it.
You put it in the bag of holding. Oh, you take the 5th copy, so all the copies are now taken by you guys. Okay. Okay, start.
Well, that's the next one.
Gonna be fun. All of you roll investigation checks.
Investigation. Hopefully this one goes better.
Oh, dear.
No.
Oh.
Ooh.
Whoa!
Maybe.
Evelyn, you start reading through this, and the art of duplicating is definitely a bit too complex for you. I mean, to duplicate fire, you just have to put wood next to it, and the fire would just start duplicating itself towards it. But this is talking about how to duplicate materials like earth. Earth is not something you know. You're fire, not earth. Water, no. Fire, no. People, animals, food. Not for me. You just get frustrated. You just don't get it. Ozzius, you having some experience with silver replication, you do understand what this is all talking about. Like, these are things like creation magic and such, generation magic. All things you've heard of before. And then you get to the more advanced spells, so you're like, huh, that is heresy. I don't know why, but it feels like heresy. Because you're a cleric. And then you're like closing books like, yeah, I don't get it, and it feels like heresy. Put the book back. Poppy. As you go through the book, the material of duplicating spells and that kind of things, you understand how they work. You don't know how to do them, but you understand their fundamentals. You look through more things like cloning and that kind of things, but at that point it's like, that costs a lot, and that's a lot of work. And like spells like these would take so much time. It would take months. I don't think this is right. So you're like, maybe the answer's not here. Okay, Lucas. You understand all of this flawlessly. It's like, oh yeah, that's illusion, that's that. And when it gets to the spells that are more unknown to you, as in the actual Archmage territory, you start looking through it and start to think. So there is a way to clone yourself within maybe a week's time? It would be, it's kind of like that in theory. Would you roll an Arcana check for me, please?
Okie dokie.
28.
Nice.
So, you look, as you keep looking through it and you try to understand the magic, you're like, the archmages indeed could literally conjure an army of themselves within a week. But there's just one problem with it. It's the cost. And the cost is not only millions of gold to begin with to even do such a thing.
Mm.
Like, yeesh, you need a lot of gold. But the other costs, I don't think the Chimerians would even want to collect that many human bones to even be able to clone their armies that way. Where they're going to get those bones? Those kind of materials? That's where you start entering a very blurred line of where do you want to get these bones? Because it doesn't even say it has to be a full skull. It just says a bone. A human bone. But you do understand that this spell is like, if for one person, it would cost one human bone and at least 500 gold. And it will take a week before that clone is fully functional. But it would be a true clone.
Mhm.
And you also read the warnings. Warning, multiple clones might start bickering on who the original is.
Classic.
So congratulations, you learned about the true cloning spell, but the cost?
Yeah, I start thinking about that cost. Human bones. Where are we going to find that in the undead? Nope, and I closed the book.
Yep.
This is a dead end. We should abandon it immediately.
Yeah. So Erica speaks up. So I suppose the outcome isn't good.
Guess it's not what we want.
Just put it this way: extremely high magical costs, necromancy, and very, very bad idea. We should not investigate further. Trust
Okay.
me.
I wouldn't be surprised that there are questionable methods with it with possible side effects. Yeah, it was just an avenue to suggest, but if we all believe the cost is too high, it makes sense that the Chimerians would not employ such tactics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, it was worth looking into.
Indeed. So, I guess so that's that journey done. What else do you want to do? Well,
In the library, you mean?
yeah.
Nope.
So you want to leave?
Yes.
Do you have any idea where you all want to go to?
Well, if Onyx Black doesn't summon me, I'm gonna visit him.
Do you all want to join her to visiting?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Sure.
Okay. So you all walk towards the exit, and then right before you want to step out, Lucas, you feel a sensation. What do you do?
Where is said sensation coming from?
From the reception desk. Someone's casting something. What do you do?
Stop moving. See if the sensation stops.
Well, no, because now you're suddenly pulled towards the desk.
I get. Mhm. Yeah, I think I know what it is. I pull the bloody book out of my bag of holding, stick it down again, and say, "Fucking libraries."
It's literally the guy with the mask looking you down. So it's like, he hands you a scroll and gives you a checkout form.
Rules are rules.
Never mind, you can put them back and lose them. I leave.
He nods, takes, and he picks the book up, and he floats out. It floats off.
Mm.
And then puts the form away. Sure, I'm gonna put this book in my bag of holding where everyone can see me from the lower levels doing it. I don't. You would have to roll deception, but you would have succeeded. They would have known. The books are tracked, obviously.
Yeah, fair.
So yeah, you all leave the library, and I'm guessing you're taking the route to the main building.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, let's move your tokens this time. We go from here to here. So you all take the long route. You go through several buildings. You see several people. Take the right thing. Your fairy friend is still trying to mess with the elevators at least once, because you had to go up one floor.
Of course you.
She doesn't stop that, does she?
Apparently not.
And eventually you find yourself to the main building. So you're going to the office of Unexpected directly?
Yeah, on the 10th floor, right?
Yep. You remember that. So you all
Um,
follow Emberlane towards the office of Onyx Black. What do you have to
I'm
say?
like, I know the way. I know the way. Just follow me.
Okay. So you've gone to the Hall of Statues, where where the previous leaders are found, and eventually you find yourself in the office. The office area of Onyx Black. Of course, there's still the receptional desk, and the assistants, and of course the doors to the main office are still closed. So what do you do?
Oh, I guess I'll be polite and ask the assistant first to speak to Onyx.
Hmm.
Like, Mr. Black, I don't know how to call him.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're on a first name base.
Uh-huh.
Probably, yeah. Speak to Onyx.
So what do you ask the assistant?
I have an urgent matter to discuss with Onyx Black. Is he in there? And I point at the floors.
Yes, he's currently in discussion with the War Master.
Well, that the war is something that we would like to discuss with him. So maybe we can just go in.
Well, maybe this person is just playing some Risk with some friends. I don't know.
What kind of matter do you wish to add? After all, I need to ask for permission.
Well, we would like to see if the Drugar could be of any help in the upcoming war. Because we could combine getting their help with the second quest, he said.
I see. I'll ask for permission. But it is clearly casting something to communicate with Onyx Black. Onyx will be receiving you in 5 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you. Is there anywhere to sit down? Do you see any
Oh,
chair or
right.
anything?
You look around, there's nothing, but then they wiggle their finger like this, and some chairs come out of some chairs from out of the flooring. They're nice, sturdy stone chairs, though.
Ah, stone doesn't balance. Oh well. Let's sit down.
Yeah.
And wait.
You all sit down and wait 5
Yep.
minutes. And after 5 minutes pass, one of the master doors open to the office of Onyx Black, and you see, well, for most of you, you haven't seen Onyx Black yet, but for Emily, you see Onyx speak out and just say, like, do enter. So I guess you all follow?
Yep.
Okay, all of 6 of you enter the office of Onyx Black. It is currently in the office mode, I would say, you know, with the high bookcases, the desk and such. And sitting on a chair is a large Chimerian, a male with long red hair, a demonic-looking horn, and his abs are all runestone, and he's wearing an open jacket. Like, you can see his chest area. And he's just sitting there, like this.
Pretty sure Mom would have something to say about that one.
So, I guess you approach, you go deeper into the room. Onyx like, come in. He points to several the places on the flooring in the room, and there's some comfortable chairs up here with velvet finish on it, even. So it's a nice cushioning on it. Come on, sit.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Alex goes behind his desk and sitting on the large chair behind it.
Makes sense.
So, he sits down. Wearing maids, these are the outsiders. They're the ones who have discovered the arm. That's the first task. And, well, has now uncovered the war we've been discussing. You see Flare goes like, yes, but I do not feel like that the outsiders have done this. And you see Olive like, oh, you've heard it from the Illithid itself. It was inevitable. The outsiders simply did the quest, and they did their own thing, and this is the outcome. And you see Flare look at him. Under your guidance, I guess. Onyx, sometimes I swear you are too trusting. Easy, Onyx saying, he's like, my friend, what I do is for the best betterment of the world and everything. Please, put aside your paranoia for the outside. He starts to shake his head. It's that paranoia that got me into this position. You know that.
People aren't all bad, you know.
No, but some are similar to the archmages.
Yeah, okay, but not everyone.
I'm still reasonable. I'm simply sharing my opinion. So Anna speaks up. Okay. So, tell me, you wish to inquire about the Drugar, correct?
Well, of course I wish to finish the quest, but I guess I also kind of promised to protect the veil in the meantime, so we thought maybe we can do both at once.
I see. The second task is indeed to get to the tomb and get inside it. But I believe that, and why you may want to try to convince the Grey to join our cause, that kind of convincing takes a while. Let alone the tomb itself is also a very difficult task. To even gain entry in there would require you to accumulate riches to even entice the Drugar to allow you access to it. I can see your logic of going there and asking for an alliance, and you want to defend the veil and all.
I
But,
mean,
go ahead.
Sorry, if I might interrupt. We technically have all the riches we could bribe them with.
What do you inquire about?
Well, if we would need their help to drive out the Ithalids, then that's going to leave their territory free for the taking. This Blank and his remaining ilk are probably going to be more inclined to stay away from old Ithilid territory because they need. You could offer it to the Duragar.
That is a wise decision, but the Drugar would have to see value in those places, or in their terms, the gooey stuff doesn't settle us well. We want gold, iron, strong. He actually does a very good dwarf impression. Strong stuff, not the gooey stuff or the twitchy stuff that those squid faces have.
Squid faces.
Well, they're vast amounts of potentially unmined territory that the Duragar can't get to while the Ithilid are there.
I've tried to convince. Well, we have tried to convince them before to join our plight against the Ithilid when the wars are going on. But they declined, saying that they don't see value in those lands. They don't see value in helping us. They only see. Well, they did help us in some way by help with the construction of Ithilid's stand, but that's as far as we could get them to go, and even that costed us a pretty penny.
The way Blank told it, we're on a bit of a time crunch before they re-establish a new elder hive brain, was it?
Basic Flagos, yes, an Elder Brain. Essentially, this would increase all Flayer's potential power, let alone those of weak-mindedness will be put under control in the presence of the Elder Brain. Depending on the potential of an Elder Brain, a large portion of the Underdark would fall under its control by default. Anyone caught in it would instantly be an easy target for the Ithilid.
Well, growing up on the streets, I used to be part of a thieves' guild, and the best way to run a heist, essentially, is you make the people you're trying to rob look in another direction. Now, if suddenly a huge army of Chimerians, Duragar, showed up on the Ithilid's doorstep, I would be looking your way. Duragar don't necessarily have to commit to a long war like I imagine Ithilid's stand was. They just have to basically keep the Ithilid distracted, and we sneak in and take out the Hive Brain.
You can see flaring out. Indeed, you could take out the candidates for the Elder Brain while sneaking in. There's just a few problems with that. The first thing is, how do you get, if we attack from the front, How do you get to the back? No, it's not. Even we don't have the whole Underdark mapped out. We only know of one way the Ifrit can come in directly to us. There are other paths, but they might go through different territories of other species. And that's why the Ifrit don't bother taking those routes towards us.
As a former member of their ranks, I'm sure Blank might have an idea where we could go and get in.
It's like, indeed, they would know the location, but not how to get there. For all we know, the back entrance could be tied to a giant lake, a sea-like lake somewhere, or a small passage, or even deep within Drow territory. We inquire that, but we don't know where exactly it is from our location. And if I go, essentially put, if you wish to do such a thing, you as outsiders will make sure that when you know political disputes with other factions within the Underdark. But in doing so, you will be looking for a back entrance somewhere deep within the Underdark to get into the Ifrit's backside to strike. We do not know how long it would take for you to find it, let alone if you would perish along the way.
We have access to sending magic. How about we go looking, and if we don't come back, your people have lost nothing.
You see, okay, you see unexpected locate too. There is. I see. You simply wish to be a solo unit away from us, simply allied to us in secrets. To go fully exploring in the Underdark is treacherous for many adventurers. You do know that, right?
We got this far already.
I mean, about as treacherous as allowing the Iflid to reswell their ranks and come prey on the surface world for more, to expand more their own ranks, which will cause problems for the Chimerians who don't have the numbers to fight back.
We have ways to at least withstand them. True, but we cannot attack them. But I do see your points.
Yes, while you stand idle and keeping them out, your resources will run dry, and their resources will grow. Look, I'll admit this plan isn't fully thought out, and it has risks. Do you have anything better?
You can see the War Master go. We have several ideas. The thing is, even if you succeed in killing the candidates, it would halt their possibility for new Elderbrain candidates for a while. It would may weaken them to resolve completely, may push them back. The outcome is still too unknown, I'm afraid. But would you go down into the depths of the Ifrit territory, take out any Elderbrain candidates completely? It needs something else. You need a final disruption to fully run the Iflits into full retreat and it would never try again. And you see Alex Black go, yes. Even if you take those out, the best way for us is to go completely genocidal onto the Iflits to get rid of them. And let us say that we do not condone that idea. We wish to make them leave on their own accord have the survivors go back and make sure they will not try again. And alone, if the survivors go back through their turns in the Vale, we can seal those up so they can never try again.
That sounds like a plan.
And you see Flare go, even so, the deeper you go into the Underdark, the more treacherous it becomes. Let alone, we have never been in the true depths of the Infinite territory. The reason is simple. Their influence gets stronger the deeper you go into the Underdark. Their connection to their ancient ways becomes stronger. Outsider, what you are asking yourself to do is a near suicidal mission. And I do respect your valor in this option, though. You see Erica to speak up. Do you have another way to infect the Infinite prepared? Because the other black shaking his head, no. That attempt has already had run its course. But when we try again, the Infinite would catch on too fast. They would already have antidotes ready for such an attempt. And he's like, I see. How long did it take for the original version to work? And you see Onyx Black go, I'm not sure. After all, it was forgotten knowledge till recent. Erica goes, well, I was merely gesturing the idea to try again with a different strain. But then again... No. Forget it. She sighs. So, Alex Black speaks up. So, you are sure to want to strike at the heart of the Iflit yourself via a treacherous route through the Underdark in uncharted territory for us, simply to put an end to the Iflit threat once and for all. With your first step being to convince the Drugar of the Grey Tribe to assist us in a distraction war so that you can sneak in using the knowledge of the Iflit. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can see him mulling it over. You can see Flaring also mulling it over. And Flaring speaks up. We can't give them anything to ensure safe passage, as it would probably tip them off of our plans. I was like, yes, I know. They have to go on their own accord. They have to go into the back without any full assistance from us. Anything that would tip off the Iflit that what this group is doing and any affiliation with us would instantly make the plan fail. You see Flaring look at him, look at Onyx Black, and then goes, there's also another way. And you see Onyx go like, what are you suggesting? And Flaring looks at the group. Should you be able to get to the depths of the Iflit in the back, and should you fail, make sure that your failure would be grand and explosive.
I have just a person in mind.
And you look
Looks
at
to Emberlin.
Onyx is like, you mean to ask them that if their attempts of stealth would fail, that they would literally go out fighting and blowing themselves up for instead of trying to survive. The flags are like, you and I both know that it is probably a better outcome than them succumbing to the Iflit. If anything, I believe even these people themselves would rather die than to become a host for the Iflit. So you see Alex Black going. You keep thinking for a moment, and then he speaks up. If you could smuggle in any explosives into the Iflit territory, and can do damage to any of their territories, structures, or even an altar where an Elder Brain could be formed, that alone would already massively improve our odds. It would also mean you would not have to slay the Elder Brain candidates. Simply forcing the Iflit to rebuild a place for an altar of an Elder Brain would already, let's say, save half a year of time. And as his flag goes, and in that half a time, we can ask the champions to rally more people into our defenses. But doing it now is not advantageous to us. And then Erica speaks up. What do you mean your champions cannot rally any armies themselves? What does that mean? And Arsback goes, it means that there are other things, they're preoccupied with other things that require their armies. Besides, it isn't a critical matter yet. Only when it's a critical matter will they have to set aside anything and any all to bring their armies and the champions here to fight in the war for the world. We were never afraid of losing this war. We're simply afraid of having to disrupt the natural world order to simply stop this. Izzy Flyer goes, essentially put, outsiders, all of those affiliated with us, will respond to our call if things are dire. The city will never fall that easily. Anything anyone want to say, or anything you want to check, or what?
So we're supposed to go to the Drugar to get them to join the Distraction War and then head into illicit territory?
That's your plan. Your plan is literally convince the Drugar of joining in the war against the Ifrit, even though the war is just going to be a distraction war. So essentially, they're going to hold a point, cause a lot of ruckus, so you have the time to sneak into their backside and take them out, and then take out either the Elder Brain candidates or completely destroy any area that it could be used as an altar for the Elder Brain.
And you endorse this?
You asking Alex Black this?
Yeah.
I do not see, considering it would end. It is a little cost to us that if you would succeed. Yes, I would have to endorse it.
Well, what would it be worth it to you if we take this huge risk? I mean, the tests are to check different values, so we do this instead of one of the quests? Probably
considering your success, and if you survive, you could, depending on all those factors, could literally mean you do not have to do any of the other tasks anymore. You would have proven more than capable and possible to keep this world safe.
Which is in the end what we're aiming at. That makes sense.
It's only fair.
All right.
It's only fair if you would get rid of one threat completely. We by honor have to honor it. The fact that you have taken out a threat. I'm sorry. I'm derping out for a moment. If you by taking out such a large threat, we are simply you've proven enough to be a champion of us. If the Inflate are completely gone, it means we have no need to dedicate resources to fight them anymore. It would free up things, and if anything, is proof of you that you're not only that you're a hero to us, a champion. There would be no need for trials.
That makes sense. All right. Well, do you have anything you could give us to convince the Drugar? I mean, they wouldn't want to head into a war, but I guess a fake one wouldn't be too much of a threat to them, I guess, right? They might consider.
Yeah. Alex speaks up. Maybe speaks up. The Drugar can be convinced into a war if the outcome for that leads into at least double as much profit. For example, if you say this fake war would cost them maybe 10% of their armies with no deaths, and they might lose a cannon or two, and you say that their payout would be a 50% increase in their army, they're more likely to go in. But if you truly wish to have the Drugar on your side, not only does the profit be good, but if you pay their initial cost, let's say you wish to hire their army, 10% of the army, and the cost for everything, you pay them in advance, and they will also get the profit, they have no reason to not say no.
I mean, you are a leader of the city. You must have some money we could take.
What you're requesting is money, but you know how our society works. Gold is very limited to us for reasons. It has no inherent value except for the objects that need gold to function.
That makes sense. So you don't have anything that the Drugar would value?
Their priorities of value change depending on the times. Sometimes it can be easy as a hoard of gold, but sometimes they wish for something else. Eventually, if you have a lot of gold, you're gonna need more gold. And if you have almost all the gold in the world, what does gold mean to you? Nothing. The first priority would be finding out what the Drugar value the most at this point in time. It might be gold.
The only way to do that is to ask?
Indeed. Indeed.
Okay, so go to the Drugar, ask them, find explosives, and then I guess we'll report back to you.
That seems to be a wise course of action.
Or do you have anything explosive that we could take in?
Blair speaks up. We can develop some explosives that would not set off any alarms when you enter illicit territory. Simple explosives, but do note, you will be carrying live explosives on you at all times.
I have a bag of holding.
That does make things significantly easier.
So do I.
Okay, not. Then I guess I can order the preparation of some explosives.
Would they be done if we get back from the Drugar?
Indeed. Art goes like, indeed. Cleric, how long does it take for you to get a small army ready? Cleric goes like, again, depends. But I can have an army ready in at least 3 days. It's just like Onyx asks, alright, that's 3 days. I don't know how long it would take you to convince the Drukmar or do whatever task they want you to do or gain whatever you need to get them to see reason.
Well, you're
But
smart.
do note this. We do not know how long it would take for the Elder Brain to go. We've already questioned Blank plenty of this. And they would say the fastest they believe an Elder Brain would sprout would be a month. And even then, it depends on the candidates.
Oh boy.
I believe it is best for you to inquire with Blank later on about their of any potential candidates. They may be cut off from the Ifrit completely now, but before that point, they were still connected to those within the Ifrit ranks. They might share some knowledge and insight that I cannot give you myself.
All right. Well, we'll definitely pay her a visit before we leave the city.
Uh,
Oh,
Really smart, yeah.
can you tell us where we can find the Grey clan?
The what?
The Grey clan specifically?
They're south. They're in the southwestern area of this part of the Underdark. Again, I was gonna point you towards the Underdark map.
Grey Taken?
Yeah, the Great Taken. The Land of Echoes, the Great Taken is the Great Taken, and part of Death's Descent is theirs.
Cool. All right then. Well, I guess we'll see you back in a little while, hopefully.
He nods. I wish you luck. Ask for my assistance to take you to give you directions to where Blank is, if you wish to speak with her before leaving.
That would be nice. Oh, one more question. Do you have a way to travel the Underdark faster than by foot?
You mean like some sort of mount, horses as
Yeah.
such?
For example?
I'm afraid not. Most creatures do not like traveling through the Underdark, and those who do are mostly of predatory value. And if they're prey, it will only attract predators.
Alright, it would reduce the time to get there and get back.
It would.
Time is of the essence.
It would. But as far as I know, we do not have such means. Our carts are self-propelled. So no, we do not have such means.
We have self-propelled carts.
Yes. They're magically enhanced.
Can we take one of them?
It would only be marginally faster, but you would also be marginally louder.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need stealth for this.
Alright, we'll go by foot. Well, if
No,
someone could point us into the direction where Blank is at, that would be nice.
my assistant will help you with that. And even if you would go by cart, you would only have use for it if you get to the Grey themselves. But in the deeper depths of the Underdark, sometimes the caves are too narrow for such things.
Alright.
And by the way, if you do fail into convincing the Drugar to not do his plan, do not worry. We do not expect you to succeed. We can deal with this in other ways. But it's best for you to prepare for this.
We're gonna do our best.
Good. You may have your leave.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Okay, so you all leave?
Yep.
Okay, I guess
Yep.
we're gonna call it here for now.
Sounds like a plan.
That makes sense.
So, with that said, it is goodbye from your Dungeon Master Kotlol. It is goodbye from Poppy.
Hey.
It is goodbye from Lucas.
Goodbye.
It is goodbye from Emberlyn.
Bye bye.
And it's goodbye from Osius.
Bye.
Who's clearly trying to get into the Drukar mindset.
Uh-huh.
Alright then. Stay charged and catch you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.